small, like little grains of sand, like blueberries in my hand. And you're as good as me. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee, like the flowers, no better than the tree. And I'm as good as you. Do-do-do-do-do, like pinks, no better than blue. And I'm no better than anyone, just like a garden full of vegetables. We all need the sun.
Hello, everybody. This is Bill Meeks. I am the COO of Do Anything Media. You might know me from podcasting like Legends of Gotham, Greetings from Storybrooke. This isn't about my resume. It's early in the morning. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. I was up working and I was like, we're working on this big project right now called 1 Week in March. Basically what happened was back in the first week of March, 25 people all banded together to vlog their life for an entire week. Now, we didn't know at the time that it was going to be like the last normal week in the world for all of 2020. So, it's sort of a really nice glimpse into the last week of the old normal is what I've been saying. But, I'm wrapping up production on the main episodes now. There's going to be 2 episodes post that week that kind of explain everything that's happened after and kind of puts that week into a context of, COVID-19 and everything going on with that. Basically, where was I going with that? See, this is why I shouldn't go live. This is why I should pre-record. Okay, so that's the context. And what I'm doing today is I'm going to, for one of those last, everything that's happened since episodes. My big part of the story is kind of making the project and organizing it and helping people out, all that kind of stuff. So I thought, in this last episode, it would be really nice to go in and show kind of how I've organized all this, like over 1,400 clips from 20 some people, 16 hours of footage. It's a lot to get through. So I thought I'd go ahead and show you guys how I organized it. So this is going to be like a screen share session. So if you're bored with screen share sessions, just leave. It's fine. But okay, so here we go. So we'll go ahead and start here with how everyone approached the project. What I did was I sent out Google Drive invites. I got a premium Google Drive account and sent out Google Drive invites to everybody to upload their footage every day. And we'll go ahead and crack open, well, just to protect people's privacy, we'll go ahead and crack open mine, right? All right, so when they came in here, there were folders for every day of the week. Ignore this epilogue here. That's something I've recorded after. But, so February 29th was the day 0 where everybody sort of answered this list of questions I had for them and, kind of introduced themselves to the audience. And then, March day 1, March 2, day 2, on down through the line. And so what they would do is they would hop in here every day and they would go into, let's say, the day 1 folder, and you'll see all my footage in there. But really all that was in there when they hopped in here back in March was this day 1 instructions document. So we'll go ahead and click that open. All right, there we go. And yeah, this was basically something I sent out every day. And actually one of the things I think I did wrong about organizing this project. Basically every day they'd have this sort of motivational couple paragraphs telling them how to maybe, if they're trying to craft a story throughout the week, this is, the call to adventure. This is the middle of the second act. This is the finale, sort of thing. Not telling people to change their lives to fit the story structure, but if you see it, use it, right? So every day they'd open up one of these documents and there'd be a couple paragraphs about, if you're telling a story, here's where you should be at in that story. If you're working on a creative project, you should do that. Maybe you're getting married. Show us something about that. Kind of giving people ideas. And that's what this whole document was for. And right below the two main paragraphs here, there were these scavenger hunt items. Now, these are, I liken them to group games in long form improv. And it's basically a way that even though it's 20 some people who aren't really communicating with anyone but me, living their lives out across the entire world, it'll be a way to kind of make everyone feel like a group throughout the project. So, there are these little fun vignettes like we have Today in March History, where we go over, fun things that have happened in March, like the Sound of Music coming out, things like that. And, then there's a lot of other stuff like tell us about your childhood best friend, show us your favorite part of your house, trying to get all of these disparate vloggers uniting behind one fun game.
Today, in March history. 22 years ago today, Bill Gates, the Microsoft guy, testified before the Senate to defend Microsoft's decision to bundle Internet Explorer with Windows. Like how iPhones come with Safari? Look, I'm not trying to get into the Mac versus PC debate here, guys. Put down the pitchforks. In fact, I asked our microvloggers to show us their workstations. It doesn't matter if you're Mac, PC, Linux, Unix, or Commodore 64. Show us your machine.
Happy Tuesday. This is my computer set up at home. I just have my Mac here. I've had it since 2014 exactly, and it's the first one I've had, and it's still working wonderfully, as you can see. Because I am a teacher, I also make stuff at home, so I have this laminator and printer behind me. This is where I do my work and have fun.
Since I'm getting ready to start my gaming live stream on Twitch, I thought I would show you my workstation. I've got dual monitors, one for my games and the other one to control my stream. I also have this really cool split keyboard so that I can have my steering wheel that I use for all my driving games right there in the middle in front of me. I have a sound hub, that little thing with the red light on it there in front of my City of the Gods display. Oh look, there's the project I'm working on, 1622 Ghosts. And lastly down here we have my tower, which is all tricked out with red LEDs. And behind me I've got my lighting rig and my green screen. So that is the quick tour. And I need to go live. Catch you later. Haha, gotcha. Who's next?
So I guess I'm supposed to answer whether I'm Mac or PC. Both? Neither? I always use an Apple iPhone, but I've almost exclusively used PCs. Computer-wise, there was a brief moment in time where I did have a Mac, but it's been so long since I've used a Mac that I don't know if I could do it regularly. Currently my desk, it's in the same room as Bill, who's filming a podcast. So my workstation is my bed. It comes with a puppy. Say hi again, Ziggy. Say hi, Ziggy. Ziggy hates the microvlogging challenge so much.
Those are some grade A workstations. Bill Gates would be proud, or proud of most of them anyway. Come back soon for another installment of Today in March History.
But I think the mistake I made with this is that it intimidated a lot of people. Like a page of text every day can be super intimidating. One of the big lessons I've taken away is if we do this again for another month, like say January or February or July or something like that, I would definitely communicate all this information in a short 1-minute video. That's one lesson I've taken away. But so people would jump in here and they would sort of go through, see what they were supposed to do for the day. Some probably didn't. Some probably were just like, okay, he asked for at least 10 seconds of footage every day. I'm going to shoot my 10 seconds to a minute and call it a day, which is fine. So let's see here. All right, so they would upload everything into this Google Drive. And I'll go ahead and show you here. This is the breakdown of all the scavenger hunt items. I had about 5 or 6 for every day, just to make sure I got enough to at least do a couple of them every day, because I was really sort of a big believer in that group game concept from long form improv, helping out this project and making us all feel more connected. Okay, so, over the course of the week, everyone uploaded their footage, and everybody loves a spreadsheet, right? This is my big 1 week in March workbook here. There we go. So basically what would happen is I would go into those folders actually during that week, I went into those folders like 20 times a day to make sure I was getting enough footage to make the project happen. So at the end of the project, I would go into those folders and sort of indexed who had footage on which day. And in addition to that, for the scavenger hunt items, I would go in here and I would mark out, who delivered on a scavenger hunt items. And this was a very useful document to me as I was editing all of this footage, because a lot of times, I'd be editing someone's normal vlog for the day, their normal capturing of their day, and I'd find, oh, wait a second, they showed us their favorite room in their house. That's a scavenger hunt item. So, obviously it might not necessarily be on the right day, but I would go ahead and throw it in here and be like, okay, that person's good for that scavenger hunt item.
The teamwork we're watching represents one of many ways to build balance and poise, along with skill, strength, and general physical fitness. There, that's real balance and poise. And there are other things to be gained from this sort of activity. And to find out what they are, let's meet some of the members of this group.
Trying to get my run on because, need to be a little bit more healthier as much as you can.
Okay, so I've spent the past couple months launching the company and I've kind of fallen behind on my fitness. I mean, I know I'm still svelte and everything, but so this week, the company's pretty much launched. The only thing I have going on is this project. So I thought, what a great opportunity to focus on my fitness. So I'm gonna dig in and do a workout that's worked for me a ton, many times. I have a towel back here, and I also have these headbands because I sweat a lot. And you'll probably see me stopping in the middle of, some push-ups or something to wipe the floor down so I don't slip, because like I said, I sweat a lot. And since I haven't done this for a while, I'm probably gonna sweat a whole lot. But anyway, here we go.
So it's kind of like interval training, cardio. The other half is strength training, and then halfway through we switch. But I do it to release stress and to keep me in shape, especially with the things that have coming up. I gotta be able to fit in my costumes.
Physical activity can provide excellent release for nervous tensions. Exercise increases the rates of respiration and circulation and serves as a stimulus, as well as a release for nervous tension.
I have no clue why I'm up early, but I am, so I'm going to jazzercise. Whenever I say I do jazzercise, people go, really? The real jazzercise? I think I'm making a joke. But it's real. It's the real jazzercise.
Here's a trunk stretching exercise to strengthen the nut muscles. Go easy at first, until you feel the stiffness leaving.
Well, that was something. I think I might have hurt my hip a little bit, but hey, I'm back in the saddle.
It's up to you to see that your body gets the activity it needs for better physical and mental health.
Now that we've organized all this footage, like I said, thousands of clips, just an insane amount of footage that everyone submitted, which is great because I have plenty to work with. I needed to start editing it. So how did I start editing? Like I said, this is going to be loosey-goosey. So basically the way I approached it is first I edited the day 0, which was the questionnaire that I had them answer, and day 1, March 1st, which was just a normal vlogging day. I tried to edit those all together into one episode, one mega episode that was about an hour and 10 minutes long. Too long. I wanted the episodes to be, about half an hour a piece. So I decided to chop it in half and, make it day 0 and then day 1. But to edit those together, I went through everyone's footage, their questionnaires, and their normal vlogs. And I edited, and I'll show you here in the scene index, I edited, 1 to, I think the most was 5 individual segments for people. Like I would try and break it up, via a vlog, or that's a bad way to say it. Sorry guys, it's early still. I've only had 1 cup of coffee. So I would edit each segment to a theme kind of. So if it was, Donna War cleaning her house that day, one segment would be her cleaning her house. Or I might break it up into 3 segments like, I've decided to clean my house. I'm cleaning my house. My house is clean. That sort of thing, beginning, middle, end, right? So as I would edit those together, I would throw them here onto the scene index, which is basically just, a big list of the individual clips I rendered out for each of those individual scenes. So, obviously you see a lot of stuff here. A lot of work's been done. I think, actually, let me see here. And this isn't quite all of it actually, but I can get a total here. Yeah, 269 individual segments, and I still have 2 episodes left to edit. But so once we got this sort of locked down, we would, let me see here. Yeah, I would print out these rating sheets, and me, my wife Anne-Marie, who some of you may know, and 2 of my kids, because, what better focus group than the people you have in your house? You don't have to pay them. You don't even have to give them free food. Well, I guess you have to feed the kids. But, we would sit down with these scoring sheets and we would rate it on 4 metrics. Each individual clip. Was it revealing? How funny was it? How nostalgic was it? And how novel was it? I'll say that revealing it revealed something about the person, which I thought was very important. Funny, I'm a pretty silly guy, so I thought funny preference goes to the funny, right? Nostalgic, I'm very fascinated with the concept of nostalgia. I've actually just finished a TV pilot that deals a lot with the concept of nostalgia called The Last Chance Detective Agency. But I'm very interested in how people are nostalgic, the positives of it, the negatives of it. So anything that seemed kind of nostalgic or wistful, I wanted to get a read on that. And then novel. And that was, how unique is this compared to all the other clips you've seen today? So, if a bunch of clips were someone saying, hey, I'm vlogging here and I'm just chilling, I don't know what to say, bye, then obviously that wouldn't be very novel. Where if somebody like, say, Bobby Hawk went out and showed us his entire day of ripping up an entire irrigation system and replacing it, that's really novel. That's really cool. Very visually interesting and really sets it apart from the pack. So I wanted to kind of gauge that too. And then obviously, we have comments in here that are just basically, if we saw something weird in my edit, or if they were like, you could lose this whole section and it would still be okay. So we would rate each one of them. And then let me find, this is the scoring sheet. And basically what I would do is I would input them all the scores, all the comments and everything for all 4 of us into this sheet right here. And let's see here, trying to make this a little bigger and scroll over. Okay, and then over here, this would be the averages. And, what I would do at the end of the process is I would go and I would take this list and I would organize it. I think I lost my camera here. Huh. Okay, there we go. Camera's back. I think it might have overheated. But so I would take all of these clips here and I would throw them into a separate spreadsheet and sort them by their average order. And then, the bottom 3 or 4, I would cut. That process is still going on, by the way. I'll talk about that in a minute. Past that, I would generally reorganize it based on the funny rating. The things that were funnier went up top because they're more interesting. And then the novel rating, and then nostalgic, and then revealing. Just because, while I want this project to be all about being revelatory, for people, or, kind of revealing people's true nature. I also didn't want to lose people's attention during the episode. So I thought, lead with the funny, then come in with the heartstrings later on. So I would go into this document and I would sort of reorganize the episode order based on that, come up with more of a locked order, and then I finish up each episode by, I record a little outro like, this is what we learned today. Here's what's happening tomorrow. So I think that's about all of the organizational stuff I have. Actually, I don't have a chat here, but I don't think there's been any comments, which is fine. This is really, like I said, I'm recording this for, oh, that's weird. My video went weird. There we go. Yeah, but more or less, I'm recording this for the episode itself. So yeah, it doesn't matter too much if people don't comment. That's why I didn't feel bad going live at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to think anything else I want to say. I know I said I'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so where I'm at now. Right now, I have all the 7 days done, edited, all the segments edited. I'm on day 6 of editing together the scavenger hunt items, which are really a lot of fun, but they take a while because each one is done in a completely different style. Like this week in March is done in a newsreel style. And then we have another one on physical fitness that's edited together with like a PSA from the 50s to make it fun and poppy. If you go over to the Do Anything community over on Facebook, I've actually posted it there if you want to see it. But, each one is a completely different approach. So they each take a decent amount of time. And that's been my last pass on these episodes, is to go through and do all of that. So right now I'm at day 6 of the scavenger hunt episodes, which means I have one more day left. Then I actually have to go back into those episodes. And if you've seen any of the previews I've posted, there's animation to kind of supplement what the people are saying. Because a lot of times people go into storytelling mode. And while they're cool stories, they're not super visually interesting. So I've introduced a lot of character animation to kind of break it up and make it more visually interesting. So I have to go back and do another pass on that. That took, for the first episode, not 2 episodes, that took forever. It took like a month and a half to get all the animations done, but I learned my lesson. I hadn't went through and edited all the other days yet. So the other days, they have a lot less animation. Probably the rest of the days have as much animation as that first episode. So, it's going to be a lot easier for me. It's still probably going to take about a month. And I just go through, I do the animations, and I give each segment one last, tightening up, edit, and I adjust the audio and things like that. So once we get there, it'll pretty much be done. But like I said, it's probably going to take another month and a half, 2 months. So, I had been saying, this is going to come out in June. This is going to come out in July. This is going to come out in September. And unbeknownst to me, COVID changed a lot of stuff for me and how I was scheduling things and all of that. So I'm working as hard as I can on it without completely breaking myself. I think what the goal is right now is to release it on streaming platforms like Amazon Prime. I have a list of them. Amazon Prime's the main one though. I want to release them on the streaming platforms on my birthday, January 1st, which is also when I'm going to be releasing the new season of The Fakest, my sketch comedy podcast. I thought, for my birthday celebration, let's release all this crap, right? So we'll release it on the streaming platforms first. And then the first week of March 1st through 7th, we're going to publish them to the YouTube and the Facebook and the Instagram TV, exactly 1 year from when they happened. And, you saw in that opening slide there that, we've changed the logo up. Originally, it was just an orange circle that said 1 week in March. Now it's a big COVID bubble that says 1 week in March because, as I was going through and I sent the first episode out to a ton of people to get their feedback. And really the hook for me was trying to show that, we're all special and unique in our own way. But I think the main hook for a viewer to bring them in is going to be, the last week of the old normal. So I decided to approach that. I decided to embrace that, even down to the graphic design. And the song will start playing here again, but look at this picture. Oh, I guess it didn't. Perfect. No, but I decided to go ahead and use a COVID thing to kind of reinforce that this is the last week of the old normal. And then I also, I have news clips, 3 to 5 news clips in every episode from that day addressing the COVID controversy, because it really didn't break until the end of that week that this was a major thing that was going to affect all our lives.
Inovio Pharmaceuticals is getting closer to releasing this urgent medicine. News 8's Neda Arampur went to the lab to find out what it is they're creating.
The eyes of the world watching and waiting for what comes out of this lab. Inovio Pharmaceuticals in Sorrento Valley taking on the crucial task of creating the COVID-19 vaccine.
This was actually published data from the Chinese scientists.
When Chinese scientists released the virus's sequence on January 19th.
What they did, they isolated it and then they sequenced it.
Inovio researchers got to work, and within 3 hours, they had a vaccine.
We have an algorithm which we've designed. We can basically put that sequence into our algorithm and come up with our DNA medicine in that short amount of time.
Yes, it only took 3 hours for these smart minds to come up with what may stop the global spread of a deadly virus that has all but turned major neighborhoods in China into ghost towns. With tens of thousands in quarantine and suffering from this virus, the urgency of what these researchers are doing is not lost here.
I think right at the end of the week, South by Southwest was getting canceled. All these things were getting canceled. And so what I've done is I've taken clips that were published on the individual days, so the March 1st episode has 3 clips from March 1st, 2020. And it just shows, one, how unseriously people were taking it, how light people were being with it. A lot of people joking around about the name and the corona thing, and oh yeah, and a lot of people like mocking China for it, all this kind of stuff. And at the same time, our government officials completely downplaying it. And it provides a stark contrast when you know what's happened since, because everyone thought it was, it's no big deal. It's like SARS 2.0. That didn't really affect us over here in the States much. It's going to be fine. But no, it's had a huge impact. We're still feeling it, right? So I thought it would be cool to put those news clips in the episodes to kind of give context to what was going on in the world surrounding COVID-19, as we were going through and doing this crazy, wacky, creative project that, shouldn't really have too much of a dark edge to it, but it ends up having a dark edge because of everything that's happened since. So, after I get this set of episodes done, there's 2 more episodes I'm going to do. One is I sent out a questionnaire on March 8th, after we had finished, to gauge how people felt the week had gone and what they're going to do next. And then there's going to be an episode with just that stuff. And it's going to be really tight episode too, I think. There's also going to be a follow-up episode that is everything that's happened since. The world changed and everything started going crazy. I've been, pulling out my phone and recording a clip here, there, and everywhere concerning, what's going on with the project still, because that's my main story in the thing, and, what's kind of going on in the world. So I've been collecting all that footage. It's going to be a lot of that footage. And then I'm also going to send out an additional questionnaire to everybody from the project. What has happened since March for you? How has COVID-19 impacted you? That kind of stuff. So we're going to get to see these people, live the last normal week of their lives for probably a year. Then we're going to get to see, how I dealt with the project in the midst of all this and what people have done since then and how because everyone's changed through this, right? Everyone's completely changed one way or the other. So I think it's going to be really interesting to jump in there and, get that contrast of, 8 months later, whenever I finally send out the questionnaires. But, oh yeah, and this video that you're watching right now, it'll also be in the episode. So, fun. But I just thought I'd hop on here real quick. How long did I go? I went about 24 minutes. That sounds about right. But I figured I'd hop on here and give people an update, let people know where the project is, where it's going. It's a huge project, way bigger than I ever thought. And honestly, I had to hit the handbrake on it a little bit. so I didn't just like fall into a deep depression and destroy myself over not getting it done. I had to, because, you know, a big part of what I do too is writing, and I hadn't written in months. And I was just kind of like shrunk down, and I wasn't feeling the creative energy of this project anymore, which really made me sad because I love this project. And I hope other people love it too. So I decided to go ahead and try and split my time between working on this project and working on literally anything else creative. And it's done a lot for me. Like, I think it's helped this project because I'm way more up and energetic when I go in there to, you know, edit a clip. And I'm also, you know, I'm more excited to get back to it while I'm writing, which is, you know, at the end of the day, where my real big passions lie is in the writing. The writing or the production is so somebody will do something with my writing, because if I don't do it, no one will, right? So that's where we are right now. You know, October 13th, 2020. The world's still kind of falling apart, but with any luck, it's going to hold together. And we'll get this out to you January 1st on streaming platforms, and then February 28th or 29th through March 8th on the Do Anything YouTube channel, Facebook channel, all that stuff. I mentioned it earlier, but if you want to, I'm trying... the community side of Do Anything Media that I wanted to set up has fallen off a bit, mainly because I've been so busy with this project and, you know, dealing with the kids and the pandemic. But I'm trying to get it started slowly but surely. If you want to go over and join the Do Anything Media community, it's linked to on our Facebook page. We're hopefully we'll get some stuff going there in the very near future. And, you know, I post preview clips of, you know, 1 week in March. So if you want to see more of this project, you know, it's there. Oh, I see Bobby Hawk in the chat room. Good to see you too, Bobby. That reminds me, something fun. And if you want to support my sketch comedy project or podcast, The Fakest, like I said, we're doing season 3 soon, but we have products now besides just the wall clocks and t-shirts that we had. And that are these Fakest script books. These are the entire scripts for season 1 and 2 of The Fakest. And the reason I got reminded of that is because Bobby Hawk, who plays Birdman Stan, is on the back cover of season 1. Because he was, you know, Birdman Stan was the most important character in season 1. And then we have Rebecca Johnson as Leanne Snyder too. These are up on Amazon. I'm not expecting anyone to buy them, but we're publishing seasons 1 and 2 as an Audible audiobook and on other platforms as well. And in order to publish on Audible, you have to have a book listed on Amazon. So I had put together the ebooks of these scripts, and I was like, you know, while I'm at it, why don't I get these printed out copies? Because look at that. I think that was a little over 2 years, I wrote that much stuff. Like I said, I'm a writer at heart, and, you know, breaking up this project and letting it take a little bit longer has helped me get back to that, which is my real passion. But I guess that about does it for today. Today, like I do this every day. But if anyone's watching, thank you very much. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
We are all so small, like little grains of sand, like blueberries in my hand.